The following podcast is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from London, England, the 2000s Wrestling Nerd. 1, 2, is this on? Hello everybody and welcome to the 2000s Wrestling Nerd Podcast. I am Richard, aka Daniel Bryan 22, aka The Nerd, and I thank you for listening today on either Anchor or YouTube. Thank you for joining me today. It's a nice sunny day here in sunny old London. Nice thick cloud out there, but it's looking really good. Do you know what else is looking really good? The Elimination Chamber! It's coming on pay-per-view this Sunday. It looks like it's going to be a good night with 2 Elimination Chamber matches. One of them that I just realized is for a Universal Championship match in the same night against Roman Reigns. Well, good luck with that, Kevin Owens, because I'm sure he's going to win. Good luck with that. Good for you, buddy. But talking about the Elimination Chamber on the last episode, on the debut episode, and thank you. If you didn't listen to that episode, please go right ahead. I think we did a good job of covering every Elimination Chamber and the impact of that match on WWE. But going through all of that, I began to think about Kofi Kingston because he had probably the most to gain from a single Elimination Chamber match in history. And I got to thinking about how the Elimination Chamber really got Kofi Kingston his opportunity to become WWE champion. Now, I don't think Kofi Kingston is somebody that you realize was WWE champion sometimes, because it happened in 2019. It happened then. And if you were frozen in a block of ice that year, you know, and you only knew wrestling before 2019 and after it, then you could not imagine that this man was WWE champion. He has been the very definition of mid-card. I don't want to say mediocre, but he has definitely not been a top guy for the longest time. He's been entertaining with the New Day. He's been entertaining on his own, being a fake Jamaican, but WWE champion? Really? And everybody enjoyed it? For real? We're going to talk about today how it happened. And why it happened. Without any further ado, this is the 2000s Wrestling Nerd Podcast, and we're going to talk about how Kofi Kingston became the WWE Champion at WrestleMania.
Yo, kids you up and look at you now. Look at you.
Is this your 13th title?
I don't know.
I think you're quite possibly, I think definitely the most decorated champion in WWE.
Oh, no. Well, I don't pay attention to the numbers, guys.
We do. We keep track. I got a notebook. I got a notebook. Got a pad. Pen to pad.
Put the pen in the pad. Yeah. Lab. So I'm going to get this label off. Look
you're not just an inspiration for everyone. You inspired me as a young black male watching WWE to get into the industry. And now you're a beacon of hope for those little kids. You know? Might possibly the most decorated and greatest African-American sports entertainer of all time. Not quite possibly, definitely.
That's the New Day, Big E, Xavier Woods, and Kofi Kingston. After Battleground 2017, they just won the tag team titles on SmackDown. And you can hear the love and admiration in Xavier Woods' voice talking about how much Kofi Kingston means. And it's all true. It's all from the heart. You do realize that Kofi Kingston has been around quite a while at this point. This is only 2017. You do wonder what's next for a guy like that, because he's accomplished so much by that point, but without going up, he ain't going to accomplish a whole lot more. Of course, things would change. How did he become WWE champion? Like I said, it's almost unfathomable that somebody really escapes the pack and finally gets to the top. So how did it happen? Well, to answer that, you kind of have to go back to my childhood, ever since I was 9. No, you don't have to do that. But I don't want this to be a career retrospective of Kofi Kingston. I just want to look at the salient points of his career that he moved up and how it all played into him becoming the champion. So Kofi Kingston's been a wrestler since about 2005. He signed with WWE in 2006. And finally, after some vignettes of him being a Jamaican and being interesting and smiling and all that nice stuff, he debuts on ECW on Sci-Fi. Now, I was convinced he debuted in 2008. I was convinced that this happened, but no, apparently it happened in 2017. He wrestles a mini Tyson Tomko. I don't remember his name. I'm not going to look it up because it was a horrible match. Probably the worst major debut that I've seen for such a long-lasting major wrestler in WWE. But Kofi looked good enough. He had good energy. He doesn't do a lot on ECW. He wrestles in a 24-man battle royal at WrestleMania the next year, I believe. I think that was won by Kane, and then Kane goes on to win the ECW title. He does some stuff with Shelton Benjamin, I believe. But after all that, for some reason, he appears on Monday Night Raw. And I believe it was the Monday Night Raw draft. It was the 2008 WWE draft. He has a match with JBL. JBL kills him. You know, he gets basically squashed. But I think that may have been his sort of tryout, his little initiation, because after that match, Kofi Kingston moves from ECW to Raw. After that, Kofi doesn't do a lot, but he's moved to the main show in WWE. You know, at this time, SmackDown is still being taped, it's still not live. Raw is the only live show. So this is a big deal for Kofi Kingston to be on Raw. He has a match with Chris Jericho. And let me lay a little background. Chris Jericho is feuding with Shawn Michaels. He's in the middle of transforming into the big word speaking bad guy, angry small man in a suit who likes beating up Shawn Michaels. He's turning heel. He needs to shed everything that was good about him, including the Intercontinental Championship, which he has. And there's no way that him and HBK are feuding over the Intercontinental title. So, insert Kofi Kingston. At Night of Champions, when every championship in WWE has to be defended, no keepsies, Kofi Kingston defeats Chris Jericho to win the Intercontinental Championship. Now, this is very interesting. It's not without Shawn Michaels' help, but it's very interesting. He pins him, he beats him. And he's only been in WWE in total about just over half a year. This makes him the first African-born wrestler to hold a championship in WWE. It's fairly fascinating. I don't need to bring race or anything into this necessarily, but I'm a black man. And seeing another black man do well in WWE just makes me happy. So I remember him winning this championship, and I remember how good it felt. He held it until SummerSlam. He lost it in a weird little tag team match where Mickie James also lost her women's championship to Glamorella, as they were known. Santina Marella and Beth Phoenix. Very interesting duo, which led to the honky tonk meter for the Intercontinental Championship. Very impressive and more entertaining than anything Kofi Kingston would do, really. But just the fact that he's got that on his record, that he was the Intercontinental Champion, it's a big deal. And Kofi is looking like a fairly big deal. He's new, he's smiley, he's different, he's from Jamaica, he's not. You know, it's fairly obvious. I'm actually Jamaican. It's fairly obvious that Kofi's not a Jamaican name. It's a Ghanaian name, because I also have lots of Ghanaian friends. But hey, he's there. He's getting a lot of energy. I don't know how much merchandise he had on the shelves at the time, but I'm sure that he was moving lots of merchandise, and I'm sure that lots of women in the crowd wanted to have his babies. He's doing okay. He wins the World Tag Team Championship with CM Punk off of Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase. This isn't the last time that he'll be messing with Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Kofi Kingston's doing a lot. Then, I think he wrestles in the Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania 25 the next year in 2009. Then Kofi Kingston doesn't do a whole lot that year. I mean, he does a bunch of stuff. He gets put into the main event Elimination Chamber and gets whacked out by Edge. That was fun. He doesn't do a whole lot else throughout 2009. He does win the United States Championship after that Money in the Bank match. He does defend it a lot on pay-per-view. He does really well with that until he loses the title to The Miz. You do get the feeling that something's happening with Kofi Kingston because he's won all these titles in such a short space. He's got the crowd on his side. I think he's got pyrotechnics at this time. As I said, women want to have his babies. The kids love him. He's got a smile on his face. He's that baby face that you know that Vince McMahon likes. So after losing the United States Championship, he goes and wrestles at the Bragging Rights pay-per-view. Almost forgot its name. It's the one night of the year that Raw and SmackDown compete against each other in competition. Well, until Survivor Series happened. But then, back in the day, there was Bragging Rights. I kind of like that pay-per-view, how they'd split the set halfway between red and blue. But anyways, Kofi Kingston wrestles on the show. Something happens, Big Show turns on him, and Kofi Kingston, I believe, gets pinned. Cody Rhodes, who is in Legacy with Ted DiBiase and Randy Orton, blames Kofi Kingston for losing the match, even though Big Show pretty obviously, was a turncoat, was a Benjamin Franklin. That is a turncoat, right? Not sure. Gotta brush up on my American history here, guys. But Kofi Kingston gets attacked by Cody Rhodes backstage during this pay-per-view. And this is a key moment because the main event is John Cena versus Randy Orton. I know, it's part 38 of their 267 part series. It's an Iron Man match. It's for the WWE Championship. And it's no holds barred. When John Cena has an advantage, suddenly, Legacy, Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes come out and beat the holy hell out of John Cena and cost him a pinfall. This draws out Kofi Kingston with a chair to chase them off. Randy Orton eventually loses the WWE Championship in the Iron Man match. All of this is key. The next night on Monday Night Raw, Kofi Kingston does something. I don't remember what it is. I'm going mostly off of memory here. And then Randy Orton attacks him. Just annihilates him. I think throws him off the stage or something. Gives him some death stare. Put this in context. There was a stipulation on the match that John Cena versus Randy Orton would never happen again. And Randy Orton would not get a shot at the WWE Championship if he lost the match. Yeah. So, because of that, Randy Orton is all unhappy. He's all, I'm a snake, and I'm going to eat you, Kofi Kingston. Because of what Kofi Kingston did the night before, chasing off Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase. Now, all of this is important because, to this point, Kofi Kingston has been interacting with mid-carders. He's been wrestling The Miz. He's been wrestling MVP, Mark Henry, all these sorts of guys. The only interaction he's ever had with a main eventer, JBL, he got beaten in like 5 seconds. This is important because he's now feuding. He's now in a rivalry with a main eventer. Somebody who's just been main eventing pretty much all the pay-per-views at this point this year. We got a couple of fun segments on Raw. The first being Randy Orton being gifted a car and Kofi Kingston trashing the car. It was a nice, fun segment. Shout out to the end of it where Kofi Kingston throws the bucket and it bounces back in his face. That's pretty fun. A couple of weeks later at Madison Square Garden, when Randy Orton is about to be a snake on Rowdy Roddy Piper, Kofi Kingston comes out, beats him up, and puts him through a table. The crowd are chanting, Kofi, Kofi. Everybody is going nuts. It's a serious night. It's a serious moment. At Survivor Series that year, 2009, Kofi Kingston pins CM Punk with an O'Connor roll, I believe, and then immediately hits Randy Orton with Trouble in Paradise, his finishing move, and he has pinned 2 former world champions inside 10 seconds, winning the Survivor Series match. Very big deal. Very good sign of things to come for Randy Orton. The next month, at the TLC pay-per-view, the very first TLC pay-per-view, Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton have a match. Randy Orton beats Kofi Kingston clean in the middle, I believe. Not so great, but he had a match with a main eventer. Big deal. A few weeks later, I believe in January 2010, they have another match for the number 1 contendership. Now things are going to change and get pretty stupid because they have a match. At the end of the match, you can see Kofi Kingston is out of position for Randy Orton's kick, and it looks like that's what Randy Orton wants to do. So Randy Orton keeps pushing him down, shoving him down gently to almost to say, get in position for the kick. But Kofi Kingston's not getting it. He's getting to his feet as if he's going to get RKO'd. So Randy Orton gets pissed off, starts hitting the mat furiously, swearing up a tornado storm. And he stiffs him with the RKO, pins him, calls him stupid, stupid. And from that point on, Kofi Kingston is never seen in the main event ever again. Interesting, huh? Neither man have ever talked about this situation, although it has been alluded to even on TV. Randy Orton has called Kofi Kingston stupid on TV. It's interesting. Go and watch the moment for yourself. It's January 2010. I'm not sure exactly which night, which week, but it's Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton. Neither men have ever talked about it, but we believe it's a thing that's happened. From this point, Kofi Kingston, not really a main eventer at all. Nowhere near it. And I know what you're thinking. Hasn't Kofi Kingston had championship matches after this? Richard? Yeah, it's true. He wrestled in the 2010 Elimination Chamber a few weeks after this. He was just there. He wrestled in an Elimination Chamber a couple of years from this. That CM Punk won. He's just there. He's in the 30-man Royal Rumble for the WWE Championship in 2016. He's just there. He's not doing anything important. Now, you think about it. Kofi Kingston meets Randy Orton, does something questionable, doesn't appear in the main event again. Somewhere, somehow, the Office loses confidence and his push, instead of going up, goes sideways. As in, he does stuff. He wins an Intercontinental Championship tournament. He wins another United States Championship, I believe. He does a lot of things, but they're not main event things. He doesn't move up at any point. He wrestles in tag teams with R-Truth and Evan Bourne. Remember him? Air Boom. Good grief, it sounded like a fart. Some kind of ridiculous fart name. But he's doing stuff. He's just not moving up. Does he have the talent to move up? Does he have the skills in the ring? Does he have the promo skills? Does he have the personality? He does change from trunks to tights, and he does start calling himself the Wildcat for a little while. But it just seems like he's on a treadmill. And I live in a flat, and there's a treadmill above me. I know what a treadmill sounds like because I keep hearing it. Kofi Kingston's not going anywhere. Until 2014. One day, Xavier Woods walks out and confronts Big E and Kofi Kingston. They start wearing suits. Then a couple of weeks later, there's a gospel choir singing. And one day, it's a new day. Yes, it is. The New Day debuts. And they're baby faces. Yay! This comes to a head at Royal Rumble, I believe, the next year, 2015. Remember that night that Roman Reigns won it and everybody was really, really, really happy? Yeah. I think it was a pre-show match that the New Day were in. And they have this thing, you know what it is, where they clap their hands or slap the mat with that cadence. Well, they were doing it here. It was something to get the crowd to rally against the opposition and get them with the New Day. But this crowd at the Royal Rumble are already salty. They're not having it. They start chanting in time, New Day sucks. New Day sucks. According to the New Day, according to podcasts that they've done, Vince McMahon is heartbroken because Vince McMahon wants them to be the, baby faces of WWE, full of positivity. And he thought that this idea was going to work in modern times. The same guy who said that Kurt Angle, who famously said that Kurt Angle would be heavily booed for being a goody two-shoes American as apple pie baby face kind of character, thought that the New Day was going to work in 2015. Go figure. New Day is sucking until just after WrestleMania that year, they convince the backstage, the powers that be, that they need to turn bad. And they do. And this is significant because this is Kofi Kingston turning heel. All through the years of him in the mid-card, winning United States titles, winning tag team titles, winning intercontinental titles, smiling with his nice Caribbean music. It's unfathomable to think that he could be a heel. He looks like the eternal babyface. He looks like Black Ricky Steamboat. But here he is, he's heel, and he's insulting people. And he's, one of my favorite things was, go check out his face when they were feuding with the Primetime Players over Titus O'Neil winning Father of the Year. They tried to proclaim that Kofi Kingston was the Father of the Year. The condescending skipping and faces. It was good stuff. And they would just insult the crowd incessantly. They do this for a while. They win the tag team titles twice. And it's significant. They're doing a good job. And you know what happens when heels do a good job for too long? They're too entertaining. They're too good at being heel. So they have to turn baby face. This doesn't always work, but it works for the New Day. And they do it. In 2016, they turned babyface, and they don't look back. But you see that everybody who rises up really gets a moment to work heel at a point. There's not a lot of folks that just do babyface all of their careers. So Kofi Kingston getting a chance to exercise his heel chops and tell us how much he sucks was really, really important. If you love the New Day, if you've become a recent fan of them, then you wouldn't realize that they were ever heels. Just like you would probably be shocked to find out that John Cena was babyface if you became a fan of WWE way later on, because that's what he was. He became first a heel. He was the hottest heel, the rising heel, dickbag. And then he became the John Cena we all know and love. It's the same thing with the New Day. Where does this leave Kofi Kingston? This leaves Kofi Kingston winning tag team title after tag team title after tag team title. I think he's like a 12-time tag team champion in WWE. Not the most of all, but he does have a part in the longest reign of any tag team championship in WWE. Where does this leave him with the WWE championship? He's still kind of going sideways. He's not going up, but he's happy. And you do kind of think to yourself sometimes, are these guys happy with where they are in WWE? Doesn't everybody want to win the world championship? Doesn't everybody want to be in the main event? Doesn't everybody want to make that money? Money. Yeah. Shout out to Shed Jespud. Rest in peace. Doesn't everybody want to be there? Then you got to realize that WWE is a job. And, well, not everybody at work wants to be the manager. Some people just want to punch their clock, just want to clock in, do their work, go home, and go and watch Netflix and forget about it. At the end of the day, Kofi Kingston got married in 2010. He has 2 children. He has a wife. He has presumably a mortgage to pay. He has food to put on the table. He's got a good spot in WWE. He's never, ever been a lower card wrestler. He's always had a place. So you can understand him not wanting to rock the boat. I personally believe that his character, especially early on, is based on him. He looks like a phlegmatic guy who goes with the flow. You want me to wrestle The Miz tonight? You want me to do this? We want to do this program? Cool, no problem. You want me to wrestle Randy Orton? Okay, cool, no worries. He's fine with whatever. It would be nice if he did more, but he's cool. You know, especially that night when he got kicked out of the Elimination Chamber in 2009 when Edge replaced him. You know, it just looks like you just got to take the good with the bad. It just looks like he's not going anywhere, and he's done well for himself, and the New Day has been revolutionary. We're at 2018 here. Kofi Kingston has been in WWE a while. He's doing well. Now let's skip to 2019, February. It's Elimination Chamber time. Just like now. There's a match going on. It's AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan, Mustafa Ali, Randy Orton, and Jeff Hardy for the WWE Championship. Suddenly, Mustafa Ali can't wrestle. He gets injured by Randy Orton. They need a replacement. Enter Kofi Kingston. And Kofi Kingston has not been a singles wrestler, even a singles wrestler. He's not won a singles title for years at this point. And suddenly, he's being thrown into the Elimination Chamber. 12 miles of chain. Over 10 tons designed to punish the human body. I love that Eric Bischoff call. So, Kofi Kingston needs to be heated up because he has not had a serious singles run for a long time. So, we have this gauntlet match on SmackDown. It's SmackDown February 12th. Every participant in the chamber is there. The winner of the match, the last man standing, gets to be the last man inside the elimination to enter the Elimination Chamber match. Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan start. They have a 15 to 20 minute match. It's great. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Kofi Kingston pins Daniel Bryan, the WWE Champion. What a big deal. Kofi Kingston can now go into the Elimination Chamber with huge momentum, looking like a serious contender, like everybody else. He doesn't need to do anything else. But he does. Jeff Hardy comes out next. They have a standoff. They wrestle. It's cool. Kofi Kingston beats Jeff Hardy. Kofi Kingston's beaten 2 world champion caliber wrestlers. Awesome. He doesn't need to do anything else. But he does. Samoa Joe comes out. Samoa Joe puts the beats on Kofi Kingston, like Dr. Dre. Out of nowhere, Kofi Kingston scores a roll-up, pins Samoa Joe. Kofi Kingston is beating all these guys. He's been in the ring now well over half an hour, having great matches. The crowd is swelling. The crowd is buzzing. Samoa Joe snatches Kofi Kingston, chokes him out. AJ Styles has to get rid of him. AJ Styles is now the next participant in the match, and he's propping up Kofi Kingston in the corner. He's telling him, look, man, he's a virtuous babyface. He's telling him, look, if we don't have to do this. If you don't want to, we'll just call it off. We won't have the match. Kofi Kingston fires up, pushes AJ Styles, and says something to the effect of, I've been waiting for this for 11 years. The crowd go banana. It's well deserved. Eventually, AJ Styles beats Kofi Kingston, but Kofi Kingston wrestles for just over an hour in this entire match. And it's the longest match he's ever had in WWE. It's the most victories he's ever had at once in WWE over such credible performers. This is one of my favorite matches in SmackDown history. This is my favorite Kofi Kingston match. If you were to ask me, what is the best match for you to watch? It's this match. It's awesome. It's unbelievable. When Kofi Kingston says, I've been around 11 years, you suddenly remember, oh my God, he's been around 11 years.
I told him I've literally been waiting 11 years for this moment, and that was all real. That wasn't like character-based stuff. It was just real. And I think as soon as he told me to stay down, and it's just something about that just got to me because I feel like I've worked very, very hard over the past 11 years. Every time, like I said, I go out there and I try as hard as I can to do as best as I can. And I haven't gotten really, I can't say that I haven't gotten like a lot of opportunities, because I've been real fortunate to have experienced like a lot of cool things, having a feud with Randy and, different things in the Money in the Bank matches and the Royal Rumbles, obviously. And even like the past 4 or 5 years with New Day has been amazing. But at the same time, like, I haven't had a chance at all to really have a singles match for a major title. And I try not to like complain about it, but I do believe that everything kind of happens for a reason, and that hard work pays off. But at a certain point, you start to like question, like, man, like I'm working so hard. Like, what am I not doing? Like, what is it that I don't have? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? Why am I being the one that's like? Why am I the one that's being passed up while everyone else is getting opportunities? So.
That was a clip from the E&C Pod of Awesomeness, Kofi Kingston talking to Edge and Christian a few days after that legendary SmackDown Gauntlet match. Wow. He's the anti-Dolph Ziggler. What do I mean by that? Dolph Ziggler, a perennial rival of Kofi Kingston's, by the way. They've traded championships. Dolph Ziggler has also been around about as long as Kofi Kingston. Even longer if we go back to the Spirit Squad in 2006. Even longer than that if we go back to him being Chavo Guerrero's caddy. The thing about Dolph Ziggler is that he doesn't really stop talking about how long he's been around and how he's scratching and clawing and how he deserves so much more than what he's getting. They even play this into a story later on between the two of them. But Dolph Ziggler kind of gets turned into a whiner. And whiners aren't cool. Kofi Kingston, on the other hand, has been grinding at the millstone. He has been working his ass off for 11 years. And this is the first time he's pointing it out. And you realize that, oh my God, this guy who can wrestle this well, who is this talented, has been around for 11 years. And this is probably the biggest opportunity of his career. It's taken 11 years? Really? So you really do get behind Kofi Kingston at this point. And by the time the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view rolls around, KofiMania is running wild. The groundswell of support is there. It's natural support. It's not forced like it was for Roman Reigns, babyface, ultimate destroyer of WWE. No. We've picked this guy. We've gotten behind him. We love Kofi Kingston. And he loses to Daniel Bryan in the chamber. The eco-friendly WWE Championship stays around the waist of Daniel Bryan. Kofi Kingston gets taken out by Big E and Xavier Woods after the match to a standing ovation. And he's had I think, a documentary on the WWE Network at this point. Kofi Kingston is absolutely on fire. And if his career ends tomorrow, this one night at Elimination Chamber and that gauntlet match on SmackDown is a hell of a way to end a career. Most guys in wrestling careers don't make it that far. But there's further to go. The feeling is that he could be in line for the next pay-per-view title shot, because there is one more pay-per-view Fastlane before WrestleMania. The tentative plans for WrestleMania at this point apparently is Daniel Bryan versus Kevin Owens for the WWE Championship. Kevin Owens has been out with double knee surgery and has been throwing guttables and eating popcorn on SmackDown, looking like real Father of the Year. That's your championship match for WrestleMania, apparently. Not been said on TV, but that's the thought backstage. The next week on SmackDown, February 19th. All of these results, by the way, these next SmackDown results were gotten with the help of KBWrestlingReviews.com. Check it out. Thomas Hall, one of the most consistent and best wrestling recappers that you can find out there. Really good dude. KBWrestlingReviews.com. SmackDown, February 19th. Kofi Kingston pins Daniel Bryan again in a tag team match. And afterwards, Shane McMahon comes out and says, Kofi Kingston, you're the best. You get a championship match at Fastlane. You're the best around. And everybody's happy. And it looks like, well, Kofi Kingston's getting his gold watch moment, his pay-per-view main event. Next week, February 26th, there's a contract signing between Bryan and Kingston. Vince McMahon comes out. No chance. That's what you got. Vince McMahon says, I haven't had enough fun screwing over Becky Lynch lately. I haven't had enough fun changing championship matches for no reason. I'm changing this one. Now, the championship match is Kevin Owens versus Daniel Bryan. And Kevin Owens comes back and signs the contract. And Kofi Kingston's out of there. And he's really docile. He looks pissed. He looks like he wants to say something. But he doesn't. But he didn't. Fun with Ahmed is amazing. But he didn't. I'm making myself laugh. Go watch Fun with Ahmed if you can. Find it and watch it. It's amazing. The next couple of weeks, Kofi Kingston doesn't do much. Xavier Woods and Big E are protesting, but no, he's out of the championship picture and there's no reason. At Fastlane, Kofi Kingston goes to see Vince McMahon, and then Vince McMahon tells him, look, Kofi Kingston, I'm changing tonight's WWE Championship match to a triple threat match. Now you get out there, because I've got a match for you, son. He gets out there, and Cesaro and Sheamus come out and beat the hell out of Kofi Kingston in a handicap match. Lovely. Vince McMahon is clearly messing with Kofi Kingston here. Why? Ask yourself why. Another Fun with Ahmed moment. We have no reason why. The next week on SmackDown, March 12th, is an awesome promo between Kofi Kingston and Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is talking, Big E is talking, Xavier Woods is talking. Suddenly, Vince McMahon calls Kofi Kingston a B-plus player. Oh. And I believe it was Daniel Bryan who got in his ear and told him that. Oh. Kofi Kingston snaps. He doesn't beat up Vince McMahon or anything, and that's a problem that I hope I'll come back to. But he eventually starts speaking for himself, and he asks Vince, what do I have to do around here to get a WWE Championship match? If 11 years means nothing to you, what does? Out comes all the heels on SmackDown, including Stupid Randy Orton. Vince McMahon tells him, you're going to wrestle another gauntlet match. And if you can finish it, you get the match at WrestleMania. What do you say, pal? Kofi Kingston's in. The next week on SmackDown, March 19th, it's another gauntlet match. It's not as good as the last one because the last one was spontaneous and unexpected, but it's still a good match. I believe he pins Sheamus. He pins Nakamura. He beats Randy Orton. He survives someone else, I'm sure. Finally, the last contestant is Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan whomps him in like a minute. It's a shame. It's a screw job. Vince McMahon entered Daniel Bryan at the last minute. Clearly, Kofi Kingston is going to have to do something else to win a WWE Championship match. The next week on SmackDown, Big E and Xavier Woods stand up to Vince McMahon and offer themselves to get into another tag team gauntlet match. Kofi Kingston can have the championship match if they can win that tag team gauntlet. So Vince McMahon concedes. They have the match. I forget who's in it. The most important moment in the match is when the Usos, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, have to enter the match and wrestle against the New Day. Now, I think they've had 2 or 3 matches at this point. They're tired. They're beat down. The Usos come up to them and say, we respect you and we respect Kofi Kingston. We voluntarily forfeit. That means that they won the gauntlet match, right? Nope. Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan, remember him, comes out. They wrestle. The New Day win the tag team gauntlet, and Kofi Kingston is going to WrestleMania. This is another great moment on SmackDown because it shows the respect between the baby faces. The way that the Usos gave up their place it's just an awesome moment. It's a heartwarming moment because of all the respect that they had for each other. Lest we forget, the Usos and the New Day had a very, very serious tag team rivalry in 2017, culminating in the Hell in the Cell. They have a lot of respect for each other, and it bleeds over into this match. And you can feel the respect between them. You can feel the respect that Big E and Xavier Woods have for Kofi Kingston. Xavier Woods has said during numerous interviews that it's his goal for Kofi Kingston to reach the WWE Championship. And it happens here tonight because they did it for him, and it's worked into the story, and it's amazing. They have a final confrontation, a contract signing, Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston tells Daniel Bryan, you know what comes because you've been here before against the establishment, raging against the machine. You know what happens here. The crowd carries KofiMania all the way to the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. The only thing I would have changed about all of this is I would have let Kofi Kingston kick Vince McMahon's head off, because why the hell was he screwing with him anyway? That's the only thing I would have changed about Kofi Kingston's road to the WWE Championship. Otherwise, Kofi Kingston wrestles the match of his life at WrestleMania and wins the WWE Championship. I watched it with some friends. They were in tears. You see videos like MVP and Shed Jespod watching it online because this is a man who, by all accounts, has been the nicest guy, a family man, done everything that's asked of him. Sure, he's had some stupid moments, but from what we can see, this is one of the most straight up entertaining, most consistent superstars on the roster. And he got his moment at WrestleMania.
Worked so hard to get here, and sometimes you work as hard as you can and they're not going your way, and you don't know if the hard work is going to pay off, and it's paid off right now. My dad came to WrestleMania the first time he's been to a WrestleMania in all this time. My brother was there, my wife was there, my kids, you saw them out there just trying to be little WWE superstars. It's just surreal, and I feel like I'm in a dream. And I don't want to wake up.
It all started, you could say overnight at the Elimination Chamber, but really, it took 11 years of hard work. There's a saying that preparation meets opportunity, and then you get success. Kofi Kingston, how did he win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania? Through grinding for 11 years, through suddenly being thrust into an Elimination Chamber, through having the gauntlet match of his life, and through riding a wave of momentum, because let me tell you, that crowd, and we loved him all the way to the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. It was quite a night. It was quite a moment. At present, the match is available on YouTube. Check it out. WrestleMania Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston. It's there. It's awesome. It's incredible. When his children come out and hold the WWE Championship for him at WrestleMania, good grief. The tears. It's a moment that's etched in time. And I'm glad that I was a part of it. That I supported Kofi Kingston. I tweeted what I could. I did my part as a fan. And I hope that you'll do your part as a fan as well of this podcast. If you've enjoyed it, thank you very much for being here. It's been very enjoyable looking back at Kofi Kingston's road to WrestleMania and winning the WWE World Championship. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please share it with somebody. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube and Anchor and anywhere else that good podcasts are sold. I'm working on getting it on more platforms, and I will let you know as it happens. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, Elimination Chamber is coming this Sunday on pay-per-view. Live on the WWE Network or on the Peacock Network if you're in the States. Still weird to say, I guess. Thank you very much for listening. I am Richard, aka Daniel Bryan 22, aka The Nerd. And this has been the 2000s Wrestling Nerd Podcast. If we can achieve anything quite like Kofi Kingston has done in his career, I think by the grace of God we'll all be successful people. Thanks for listening, folks. And God bless you. See you again soon.